Hey guys, Super Nintendo here, and I want to talk today about the Super Nintendo Classic, or at least what just happened this past Friday when Walmart unexpectedly put up pre-orders at 10:30 at night Central Standard Time on a Friday. Caught everybody off guard. I was able to get a pre-order along with some of my friends, and a lot of other people did too. And you would think that finally the wait is over. I don't have to worry about anything until September. But that's when Walmart decided to cancel some of the orders. And the reason given was that the payment couldn't be verified. Now, a lot of people insisted that they entered their payment information correctly, so they reached out to the customer service to get a better explanation. And what they were told was that the pre-orders were a mistake and they shouldn't have gone up at all, and that Walmart was going to be canceling all of them. So what's really going on? So as of this recording on Monday night, my order is still active. Now, that isn't to say that it's going to be active until it ships in September, but I think that it's a pretty good bet that it's going to stay this way for a while. I've been looking on Reddit and Twitter, and I really don't see anything that would suggest that Walmart would cancel everything. They did, the Walmart help on Twitter did say that the pre-orders went up too soon. And I really don't think that you should be taking that as an official word, even though it's coming from Walmart officially. There's a lot of inner workings when it comes to big companies like this and launches. One department schedules the pre-orders, doesn't tell the customer service, and the customer service is left to make their own decisions about how they should handle customers being upset. Because obviously it is a pretty big deal that, you know, you got an order to go through, the credit card was charged, and then it comes back saying it was canceled because your payment couldn't be verified with no other explanation. So you're left to your own devices. So what I think, and I have to preface this that it's just what I think. I don't work for Walmart, I don't work for Nintendo, but it seems to me that a lot of people, given the indication that some say that they pre-ordered it 15 minutes after it was up and they got theirs canceled, but other people an hour away didn't. I think it has to do with your geographic location. Walmart is a big company. They have different distribution centers all around the nation. So it's quite possible that they had specific allocations for different areas. And so if you were in a specific zone and your friend down the street wasn't, and it could be the possibility that you got in a little bit too late on that specific allocation. So that's the reason why, even though you got yours in before your friend, that he or she still has theirs pre-order still pending. But of course, it's just speculation. I mean, obviously Walmart should have already made a statement already about whether or not we, specifically the ones who got our pre-orders to stay, are going to keep it that way. Because one of the worst things about these type of pre-orders is that I could very well have my order canceled up to the last minute and be totally out of luck because I decided to pass on a GameStop pre-order or Target pre-order or Amazon or what have you, just because I thought that I secured one on the Walmart side. So that's a little unsettling. I'd rather know now that it was canceled and instead of waiting, because that definitely has happened where I believe it was the Legend of Zelda Master Edition, up until like the very last minute, Amazon came back and canceled like a ton of orders because they just didn't have the allocation for. It was like totally unexpected. It was out of their control, and it made a lot of people upset because, I mean, it's a $150 item. It's extremely limited, and people assumed that with Amazon that they'd be in the clear. So how can we prevent this thing from happening in the future? Well, it's kind of obvious that Nintendo should just make these things year-round because they sell like hotcakes. It's a miniature little Nintendo with 21 great games. I mean, who wouldn't want that? You know, the hardcore collectors want it. the regular casuals who haven't played Nintendo in 20 years, they want one. It's very nicely priced, and it's just kind of disappointing that Nintendo is making this a limited edition, so we're stuck with hunting down pre-orders. Well, I think the best way to combat it is to do what GameStop did for the Majora's Mask new 3DS. Now, if you're familiar with what happened on that way, basically what happened is that Nintendo announced the new 3DS, announced that Majora's Mask would be in 3D and would work best on new 3DS, and then they announced that this guy would be a limited edition, and pre-orders went up almost the instant after the Nintendo Direct went up. Sold out instantaneously. Nobody could get it because everybody was caught off guard. It was on a Thursday at like 9 o'clock in the morning at some places, and people were at work, couldn't get in, and so by the end of the day there was nothing that they could do. So eventually what happened is that Nintendo obviously worked out a deal with GameStop to make a new set of allocations specifically for GameStop. Now, instead of putting them all up on the pre-order at once, you had to go into the store, but they released it by region. So the East Coast went first, and then Central, and then Mountain, and then Pacific, each one with about an hour or two interval. So that way, when you went into the GameStop store, the system didn't crash because you only had a quarter of the stores accessing the system, and people were actually able to go in, put the money down, and get out of there and have it securely pre-ordered. And I really think that's the best way to do it, especially with an item as rare as this. It probably won't be rare, it's just going to be sought after. Nintendo Entertainment Classic Edition is still pretty expensive. It's about north of $200 depending on where you're at, and I don't see it slowing down at any point in time, especially as Christmas comes in and the Super Nintendo Classic is harder to find than the regular Nintendo Classic. Nintendo has stated that they're going to make significantly more, so we'll just have to wait and see. And that's kind of the problem, is because the internet loves to speculate, and when they love to speculate, they speculate negatively. So we'll see what happens. But that's all that I really have to say about that. What do you think? Did you order one from Walmart? Did you get yours canceled? Leave it down in the comments below. I'd like to see if my theory holds true about the geographic range. Maybe it's just a load of baloney. But so if you like this content, I do one of these videos about once a week. If you have a specific topic that you'd like me to comment about, please leave it down below. I love talking and debating video games, so it's a lot of fun for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.